Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. How Dallas Cowboys Mike McCarthy viewed Taysom Hill when he coached Saints QB as a rookie. As Dallas Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy considers how his team will defend the New Orleans Saints' most versatile offensive player Sunday, he might let his mind wander back to 2017. That year, as coach of the Green Bay Packers, McCarthy noticed a standout undrafted quarterback at training camp. And he wanted to keep that rookie, Taysom Hill, on the practice squad. 7 years later, Hill's an established member of the Saints and owns a reputation as perhaps the NFL's most unique playmaker. Hill has played quarterback for the Saints at times, but he more often lines up in the backfield, as a tight end or split out wide like a receiver. He's thrown for 2,348 passing yards and 11 touchdowns in his career. He's also amassed 2,194 yards and 27 touchdowns on the ground with 77 receptions for 757 yards. The more value that you can add, obviously your job security can go a little long, McCarthy said. He's a weapon. He does a lot of things. He's a bigger man than I had him in training camp. Like I said, I thought he was a very good, young quarterback prospect. Hill signed with the Packers in 2017 after going undrafted out of BYU and impressed throughout the offseason, according to McCarthy. Though Hill's age might have played a part in teams opting not to draft him, he turned 27 the August of his rookie year. McCarthy said the quarterback's maturity and NFL potential came across during an impressive training camp. Ultimately, after roster cuts, Green Bay kept star Aaron Rodgers and backup Brett Hundley as the only signal callers on the 53-man roster. "We thought he was a hell of a quarterback," McCarthy said of Hill. "Every year when you sit down at the end of training camp, I know it's the way I've done it, you have 58, 59, 60, there's different numbers each year, of players you feel like really earned the opportunity to be on the 53. He was one of those guys. He clearly played well." The Packers hoped to slide Hill onto the practice squad, but that lasted about 2 minutes. The Saints signed Hill shortly after the Packers cut him, and he's been in New Orleans since. During a blowout win over the Panthers in Week 1, Hill ran 5 times for 35 yards, including 4 first downs. He also caught a pass for 1 yard. And when the Saints visit the Cowboys on Sunday in Dallas home opener, Hill will aim to continue his success against his first NFL coach. His career, what he's done, McCarthy said, "It's been awesome to watch from afar." Cowboys led the league in one category after Browns game. The Cleveland Browns implemented a new offense during the offseason after Ken Dorsey took over the reins from former offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt. Dorsey's offense relies heavily on 3 and 4 receiver sets, allowing quarterback Deshaun Watson to spread the field in a set similar to one he ran in Houston during his Pro Bowl days. The system, however, relies on Watson having time to find the players. That's why PFF's recent X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, post sheds new light on how poorly Watson and his offensive line functioned during their Week 1 game against the Dallas Cowboys. PFF reported on the social media site that the Cowboys had the most team pressures in Week 1, notching 40 total pressures on Watson in their 33-17 victory last weekend. To put that into perspective, that means Cleveland did not allow the Cowboys to pressure Watson on only 5 of his 45 passes in the contest. Dallas led the league by a wide margin after Week 1, finishing with 11 more pressures than the next closest team, the Seattle Seahawks. The Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings finished 3rd and 4th, respectively. Cleveland started the game with 2 offensive tackles, Jack Conklin and Jedrick Wills, sitting the contest out as they were deemed not ready to participate in the contest. The Browns relied on backup James Hudson III and second-year player DeJuan Jones as the tackles in their stead. Cleveland will look to give Watson more time to throw this weekend against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Browns' Amari Cooper shares Kevin Stefanski's 2-word message after Cowboys' loss. The Cleveland Browns were humiliated after their Week 1 performance against the Dallas Cowboys. All the criticism flew in following the Browns' 33-17 loss in front of their home crowd. As head coach Kevin Stefanski spoke to his team after the game, wide receiver Amari Cooper said his coach kept the message very simple. "React properly," Cooper said via Scott Petrick of BrownZone.com. Although it was only the first week of the season, there were some promising moments from the NFL's number 1 ranked defense a season prior. The Browns only held Prescott to 179 yards passing and forced 13 incomplete passes. They also allowed only one touchdown pass by Prescott. Cleveland also stifled Dallas' rushing attack, only allowing 102 yards on 25 attempts. While the defense played well, the offense didn't follow suit. Quarterback Deshaun Watson threw 24 for 45 with 169 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. He was sacked 6 times due to a banged-up offensive line. Still, his leading receiver was tight end David Njoku with 4 receptions for 44 yards. The rushing attack was shut down, with lead back Jerome Ford only having 12 attempts for 44 yards and a touchdown. Although part of the increase in yards was due to the game script, players and coaches wanted better. Things certainly aren't getting easier for the Browns heading into Week 2. For Cleveland, Watson is facing more allegations dating back to 2020. Not only that, but Njoku is dealing with an ankle injury that will sideline him for Week 2. The injuries continue to pile on for a depleted Browns roster. Still, the road is easier in the next 3 weeks as opposed to the season opener. Cleveland plays the Jacksonville Jaguars, New York Giants, and the Las Vegas Raiders in Weeks 2, 3, and 4. Regardless of the easy schedule, it's tough to tell who will be under center. As Watson is dealing with these allegations, he may sit out of multiple games. Then, Browns fans can likely see Jameis Winston take the starting spot. Despite the uncertainty on offense, Cleveland maintains a vicious defensive presence. The defensive line is amongst the best in the NFL, led by reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. The secondary is led by Pro Bowler Denzel Ward. If the Browns react properly amidst the uncertainties, the upcoming weeks should reveal their old selves once again. The Browns take on the Jaguars in Week 2 in the newly named TR Everbank Stadium, in part of Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence's collaboration with Everbank. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Amari Cooper? Leave your opinion in the comments.